Hello and welcome to Sodium for the Win's Grain of Salt. Today we will be taking a look at one of the hardest games ever, Dark Souls 3. Now because this is a new series, I will go ahead and explain as to what it is. Basically, I'm going to give you guys my grain of salt or my opinion on this. The way I'm going to be rating this system is out of 10 and under 3 different categories: graphics, gameplay, and development. Development where there are a certain amount of bugs, glitches, so on and so forth. Gameplay, if the game is fun in specific parts of it that I enjoyed or specific parts that I have problems with, and graphics, the way the game looks in general. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this review of Dark Souls 3. For those who do not play fantasy games or games similar to Dark Souls, or who have been living in a cave for the last couple of years, Dark Souls is one of the hardest games in recent video game history, with its most renowned feature being its high level of difficulty and loss of sanity, I suppose you could say. Dark Souls is a fantasy RPG set in a post-apocalyptic medieval style place. I don't know, it's not really talked about much. That's one of my big complaints with the gameplay. It's not very descriptive with its lore. There are a few tidbits here and there. I have finished the game, I just don't remember how it finished, per se. But it does have some lore behind it, but it's not much really talked about. That's one of my big issues with the gameplay. The lore isn't all there, but there is some lore to be had. One of my favorite things about the gameplay, though, is the fact that the experience is also the currency. You can see down there at the bottom right that there is a little counter. That is what is called your souls. That's the currency and also the experience points in Dark Souls. And when you die, you lose all of them, as perfectly demonstrated back there when it said you died. By the way, that is a screen you're going to get well acquainted with if you are new to the Dark Souls series. It is very famous for that. And also its majestic orchestral performances in the music, in the title screens, and also during some boss fights. Here, just take a listen. Sorry, I should have probably put like a headphone warning or something in there for y'all, but no matter the case, pretty music, awesome gameplay. I rate probably gameplay, I'd say 10 out of 10, or 9 out of 10, somewhere around there, I don't know. It's a fun game, it's nice enough. The graphics, on the other hand, are stunning. It really makes you feel like you're in that post-apocalyptic kind of dark, grimy, area that you are really in. And the monsters and creatures themselves make you feel like you're in some kind of H.P. Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe horror-scape almost. So graphics-wise, I would definitely say it is a major 8 out of 10. It could be a bit better. There are some areas where it's a bit darker, where it, doesn't necessarily need to be, but on that case, it would, it still looks very good. I like it. So I'd rate it about 9 out of 10 on the graphics scale. And last but not least, we are on to the production and the development of the game. They have had to put out a couple of patches ever since the release of the game, mostly though for the 2 DLCs that are now out. And it balances out weapons in those DLCs. Other than that, there haven't really been any nerfs or buffs or any bug fixes to speak of for Dark Souls 3. That's why I love it. There's no real downtime to it. Also, a bit of a side note here. One of the main reasons I really like this game is because it allows for offline and online play. So if you do not have an internet connection but still have a PS4, you're still able to play Dark Souls. It's just going to be a bit harder because you won't have as many friends to help you out. However, the online is very fun, but it can also be a bit of a challenge. Now, enough of that. Allow me to help you guys out with a few helpful
Yes,
moments
indeed.
from my many runs in the game.
It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge.
Now, as you can see in the background is an opening cutscene that presents this gigantic world to you. Now, you can watch it. However, if you're exactly like me, what you'll usually end up doing is skipping it and heading straight to the menu like I did just now. So, you're going to start off by getting a character, and it's going to look very much like this. You get to put in a name, you get to choose gender, male or female, because there's only two. You can also choose a bit of age, which I'll be showing off next here in a little bit. You get young, mature, and aged, and then, oh, the classes. There are so many classes. The private lets you kind of see your character in a bit better of a fashion because you're not in all that armor, and it allows you to see more of the cosmetic stuff. And oh my gosh, there are so many classes. Knight, mercenary, warrior, herald, thief, assassin, sorcerer, pyromancer, cleric, and deprived. Now, most starting people are going to start off with knight, or mercenary, or pyromancer. I would highly recommend pyromancer for your first starting off. And then, of course, with your character, you get a bunch of burial gifts that allow you to do stuff randomly. You get a bunch of presets for your character. Awesome. The amount of customization in this game is fantastic. It's depth. It's crazy. Of course, you get the presets like I am showing off right here. Having to watch a recording later on to record my voice over. You get to choose a build. You know, you can be really skinny to really fat. You can even have a big head or a small head. You know, stuff like that. And then as you go down to appearance, you can change, you know, stuff a bit more in depth than you normally would be able to. Voice, your age, musculature, body hair, and then you can do anything from just a normal person, you know, just a normal character, to, oh, I don't know, maybe I want to go Shrek. So, you know, turn down the blue a bit, turn up the green a bit, and turn the green almost all the way, turn up the red slightly, and there you go, you've got a nice little Shrek going on there. You know, Shrek is love, is life. Look at it, beautiful. Of course, you can't really see it because, you know, I have the night armor on, but oh well. Now, first things first, after a slight loading screen, you're going to get this phone cutscene, which I also skipped, and you're going to spawn in a cemetery. Now, remember earlier when I said how it shows you the controls a bit differently? Well, here's how. It shows you messages that give you the controls, the basics, you know, the attacks, defenses, all that wonderful stuff, and you're kind of just left to fend on your own. And you learn to roll if you button mash or if you look at this, but that would be after they attack you, and you also learn to dash here. But the cool part about this is you learn these messages, which, you know, if you play online, you get to see messages from other players, as well as post messages of your own. And that's, you know, cool. I like it. It allows a bit more of a, like, oh, you can read them if you want to, you know. It doesn't force you to go through the tutorial, it jumps you in right to the get-go. Now, of course, like all signs in life, they can be heeded too, and you're probably safe, you know, heeding those signs. However, if you're like me, a lot of times when you see a sign that says, oh, I don't know, turn back, you take that as a sign, maybe I should keep going, rolling through the water, straight towards, oh gosh, what is that? What is that thing that's, oh gosh, it's moving towards me? Congratulations, you get to deal with your first really hard enemy if you fail to heed the sign that said to turn back. Now, like most people, the first time I saw this thing, I died almost instantly to it, but after 2 or 3 years playing this game, I've memorized its attack patterns and have learned to defeat it pretty easily and usually relatively stress-free, you know, no big deal. It's not like I had one health item or anything. Anyways, after conquering the lizard, or, you know, just chickening out and deciding, hey, I'm not gonna go die today, you run up a hill and you encounter your first bonfire. So, you light it up, and you go ahead and rest. However, once you are done resting, and your Estus is filled up once again, you go along on your merry way, down the path, and encounter some more enemies, of course. But that's not where the juicy thing comes in. Oh no. The juicy part comes when you come across a statue that has a sword in it. So, you know, go ahead and remove the sword. Wait, is that blood? Wait, hold up. That statue's moving. Attack? Yes? No? Oh crap. Anyway, you know, you guys already saw this when I completely destroyed your ears. So let's go ahead and skip to the end. And there we go, destroyed, taunted, and we've got that cool sword that we pulled out of them. And from here on, it's pretty easy. Just go on, kill things, and then eventually, as you walk down the road that is through those doors right there, you will come across a giant archway. Thanks, game. But that leads to a place called the Firelink Shrine, as seen on the screen right now. Get to talk to a lot of people, yada yada yada. Put the fiery sword thing inside the cauldron pot thing, and there you go. That's basically Dark Souls in a nutshell. After that, you go on and do some crazy stuff, and if you're like me and we're looking for easy ways to, you know, progress forward in the game, you decided to search on Google and find a little bit of a cheat, a little bit of an exploit, and after doing it enough times, you can get to do it once, like I just did then on the first try. Yeah, that leads you to what is called an Estus Shard, which you can use to reinforce your health or mana items that are in the bottom left corner. You know, back when that lady was freaking out and all that nonsense. And you come across an, well, you'll see it here in a second. You come across a ring that allows you to get more souls from fallen enemies. But overall, this game gets a pretty high score. Let's recap. So, gameplay-wise, it got a 9 out of 10. Graphics-wise, it got a 10 out of 10. And out of the production, it also got a 10 out of 10. Because there were no real bug fixes or issues that it had to deal with. So overall, this game gets, from me, now I'm sure a lot of people will be like, well, why did you give it that specific score? While I do enjoy the game, I find the lack of lore kind of drives the score down just a slight amount. However, I don't really remember much of the lore and haven't really been looking for much of it ever since then, but I do enjoy the game very much. It adds a certain amount of challenge that a lot of games nowadays do not have, which is a very sad thing to say, indeed. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. Leave any, you know, suggestions in the comments down below, and, you know, criticisms, all that stuff. Any criticism is welcome, unless you're gonna just say, hey, you're a giant nerd, you play Dark Souls, then go ahead and just kindly alt F4. Thank you. But in all seriousness, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below on what game you would want me to do next. I am hoping to eventually make this a series, but who knows where it all could go. And, a little bit of a side note here, with the Dark Souls stuff playing in the background, I thoroughly apologize for the lack of videos recently. I've been very busy with work and trying to find school and all that other wonderful kind of stuff. So, hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you next time. Stay salty, my friends.